Bereshit chapter 32. Early in the morning Lavan got up, kissed his sons and daughters, and blessed them. Then Lavan left and returned to his own place. Yaakov went on his way, and the angels of God met him. When Yaakov saw them, he said, "This is God's camp," and called that place Mahanaim, 2 camps. Yaakov sent messengers ahead of him to Esav his brother toward the land of Seir, the country of Edom, with these instructions. "Here's what you are to say to my lord Esav. Your servant Yaakov says, I have been living with Lavan and have stayed until now. I have cattle, donkeys, and flocks, and male and female servants. I am sending to tell this news to my lord in order to win your favor." The messengers returned to Yaakov, saying, "We went to your brother Esav, and he is coming to meet you. With him are 400 men. Yaakov became greatly afraid and distressed. He divided the people, flocks, cattle, and camels with him into 2 camps, saying, "If Esav comes to the one camp and attacks it, at least the camp that is left will escape." Then Yaakov said, "God of my father Abraham and God of my father Yitzhak, Yehovah, who told me, 'Return to your country and your kinsmen, and I will do you good.' I'm not worthy of all the love and faithfulness you have shown your servant, since I crossed the Yarden with only my staff, but now I have become 2 camps. Please rescue me from my brother Esav. I am afraid of him, afraid he'll come and attack me without regard for mothers or children. You said, 'I will certainly do you good and make your descendants as numerous as the grains of sand by the sea, which are so many they can't be counted.'" He stayed there that night. Then he chose from among his possessions the following as a present for Esav his brother: 200 female goats and 20 males, 200 female sheep and 20 males, 30 milk camels and their colts, 40 cows and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 colts. He turned them over to his servants, every drove by itself, and said to his servants, "Cross over in front of me and keep a space between each drove and the next one." He instructed the servant in front, "When Esav my brother meets you and asks you, 'Whose servant are you? Where are you going? And whose animals are these?' then you are to say, 'They belong to your servant Yaakov, and they are a present he has sent to my lord Esav, and Yaakov himself is just behind us.'" He also instructed the second servant, and the third, and all that followed the droves. "When you encounter Esav, you are to speak to him in the same way, and you are to add, 'And there, just behind us, is your servant Yaakov.' For he said, 'I will appease him first with the present that goes ahead of me. Then, after that, I will see him myself, and maybe he will be friendly toward me.' So the present crossed over ahead of him, and he himself stayed that night in the camp. He got up that night, took his 2 wives, his 2 slave girls, and his 11 children, and forded the Yabok. He took them and sent them across the streams, then sent his possessions across, and Yaakov was left alone. Then some man wrestled with him until daybreak. When he saw that he did not defeat Yaakov, he struck Yaakov's hip socket, so that his hip was dislocated while wrestling with him. The man said, "Let me go, because it's daybreak." But Yaakov replied, "I won't let you go unless you bless me." The man asked, "What is your name?" And he answered, "Yaakov." Then the man said, "From now on, you will no longer be called Yaakov, but Israel, because you have shown your strength to both God and men, and have prevailed." Yaakov asked him, "Please tell me your name." But he answered, "Why are you asking about my name?" and blessed him there. Yaakov called the place Peneh El, face of God, because I have seen God face to face, yet my life is spared. As the sun rose upon him, he went on past Peneh El, limping at the hip. This is why, to this day, the people of Israel do not eat the thigh muscle that passes along the hip socket, because the man struck Yaakov's hip at its socket.